Alright troops, I was just training there doing a routine and I had so many thoughts going through my head about training that I feel that I just need to get them out there so that they're not lost in the ether or whatever you call it. I don't know, who cares. Anyway, listen, this is just the facts and this is something that you need to let sink in, alright? Number one, the burpee community is strong, it's very friendly, it's very supportive. And there's a sense of honour amongst burpee practitioners where we do each other's routines and we always pay credit to said routine and whoever the creator was, and that's the way it should be. That's just what you do. However, you need to create your own routines. You need to focus on that for 90% of your training. You need to create the routines, and here's the reasons why. Number one is that you need to make your mark upon the community. You'll never make your mark by constantly doing other people's routines. You need to create your own routine. You need to put your stamp on the community by creating your routines, which in turn will help your style evolve. Now, when we all start burpees, we all start with the basics. 1 pump, 6 counts. Moving on to Navy SEALs, 2 pumps, 3 pumps, just working our way up the ladder. But there comes a point where you need to start amalgamating all these burpees and putting your stamp on it. And what tends to happen is that your style starts to evolve in the sense that, and this is, I'm paraphrasing a guy who I've seen mention this, I don't think his channel exists anymore, and it was quite a crazy channel, but the guy made a very valid point which was really resonated with me. And you'll start to see, like, I think the guy was saying that you see 3 or 2 types of people evolve in the burpees scene. And one of them's a speedster and the other ones are stylists. So that's the 2 I'm going to concentrate on right now. However, I've got a third which I would probably place myself into, and I'll get to that. So you've got your speedsters, you've got your busy dads, and you've got your still in the games, and like James Bruce I would probably put into that category as well, because he's done 500 and God knows how many minutes, unbelievable amount. But these are guys who've mastered the reps, mastered the burpees, and they just go for speed and reps, keeping that form nice and tight, and that's their style. They've developed that style, particularly Max Edwards, and they've made it their own. And that's why Max is Max is one of the names within the community that stands out, because Max developed his own style. Then the second one, you've got your stylists. I kind of fall into this category to a certain degree, I think, but your stylists are guys like Burpees King. I would probably count Burpees Ikram in that category, just because his technique, his form, the way he performs a cycle style burpee. When you look into the prison style workouts as well, when you watch your G-Fit actives, these guys are stylists. Their burpees, they resonate with me on a personal level, because I like the evolution of my own style, which is incorporating kickouts, Navy SEALs. Can I mention Moses Cuevas as well? Moses Cuevas is the ultimate stylist, because Moses Cuevas doesn't go for speed. Moses Cuevas, his burpees, I've always said, they tell a story. There's a lot of emotional impact in his burpees. They're beautiful. You can't take your eyes off Moses. You just see that there's something in those burpees. So you've got your stylists as well. The third one is one I would introduce myself, and I would say these are more brutalists. These are guys who go for brute force, and I would consider myself to fall into that camp. I struggle with burpees, I struggle with Navy SEALs. I'm never really mastering the movement in its whole entirety. I find that I struggle on my shoulders, but I use brute force to get through there as well. I also like to incorporate prison style burpees, which is a lot of kickouts where you're having to use brute force towards the end just to manage those pumps. So that's the 3 categories I would suggest that people tend to fall into: speedsters, stylists, and brutalists. However, my point is this, is that you will only develop your style when you create your own routines. You won't develop your own style by doing other people's routines continuously, because it's like reading other people's books. You're just reading their books, but when you write a book, it's your book. You write the book, your style becomes apparent throughout the book. So you need to focus on your style, and that will begin with creating your own routines. So that is the first thing that was running through my head during these burpees. The second one was, and it's probably going to go into airy-fairy land here, but burpees are poetry. Bodyweight training is poetry. And it is for me, is because I am not an organised guy. My wife will tell you this in a minute, right? Most of my routines are performed with me going into it not knowing what I'm going to do. I literally create a routine within the first 5 minutes of me actually performing said routine. I've got an idea how I'm going to start, and I then just go with the flow, and it comes to me as I go, because what happens is I'm in the zone. There's like a degree of mindfulness at that point when I'm concentrating on the burpees. So I'm only thinking about burpees, but my creativity starts to peak because I've got no distractions. So I'm actually in a creative mode where I'm doing burpees. And this is something I suggest people do, because it's going to ultimately make them more successful with creating their own burpee style. And that is the ability to train on the fly, train on the hop, creating routines as you go along. Now, there's a flaw in creating programs and burpee routines, I tend to find, and I think personally a lot of people overcomplicate burpee routines. Now, this is no disrespect to any guys who do this. Like, as long as you're working hard, you'll always have my utmost respect. However, there's sometimes I'll see a burpee routine and to me it's just too complicated. And you think to yourself, what's the point of it being complicated? Because the net effect will always be similar through simplicity. Like, you can't say to me like a burpee that includes like, right, so we're going to do 5 Navy SEALs, and we're going to go straight to 5 mountain climbers, and then we're going to 5 jump squats, and then we'll go back down, and that's 1 rep. That's just too much brain work, and your creativity will be stifled because you're too busy focusing on trying to complete 1 rep, which is like trying to like complete a Rubik's Cube. Burpees shouldn't be about trying to complete a Rubik's Cube. That's what the counts are for. The counts are for the focus, the counts are for the laser focus. So you don't need to over egg it by adding in like lots of ingredients. Like, the best dishes are 1 or 2 or 3 ingredients. It's not everything thrown in the mix. Anybody that watches Gordon Ramsay will know that. So you need to keep it super simple with your routines as well, because that's what resonates with people. More people are going to pick up your routines and do them because they're simple. It doesn't mean they're easy, but it means that they're simple. So try and be creative with your routines, but add an extra bit of spice to that creativity by trying to improvise the routine while you perform it. Try that method for a couple of weeks, couple of months, and see how it rolls for you. If you are the organised type and that doesn't work for you, that's fair enough. However, I would suggest that you try and go through a block where you are creating your systems or your routines on the fly. That will have a profound effect on your ability to program. Plus, it will make the training a beautiful experience, because there's a sense of accomplishment where you create these routines, and it's the beauty lies in where they were created. They were created within the midst of chaos. You weren't sitting in your house scribbling out a routine. That's daunting. Like, you're actually taking anxiety away from training by thinking to yourself, I'm going to create this on the spot. So some days you might not be like in the mental state for a grinder. That's okay, but you can still create a session that's going to last 20-30 minutes, that's going to hit the body hard. Hit it harder than most other training styles will. Just roll with it and see how it goes. That's definitely something that I would consider when you're doing your burpees. Listen, burpees are beautiful, they're poetic. There's so much creativity that's involved with burpees. Like, if I go to the gym, it's a set plan, it's rigid. So, and you're kind of locked into it and you know what's coming up, and it gets boring. This training never gets boring, it's beautiful. It's like a dance. And that leads me to my third point, and this is something I experienced when I train with Jib, or any time I've done burpees with someone that's not in the burpee community but outside, and it's like a dance. You go, I go, you go, I go. We keep the flow. It's like Strictly Come Burpees. Dancing with burpees. I don't care what you might call it, but it's a thing of beauty. So you also need to experience what it's like to train with a workout partner. And the beauty of burpees is that I can train with Jib Gastra over in Holland, and we can do it through our phones. I couldn't do that like with the weights or anything like that. I couldn't go for a swim with Jib. We couldn't go for a run together but we can do burpees together. It's transatlantic, and this is something that is the biggest thing about this community is the people that it connects you with, the people we've all connected with over the years. Like, I've connected with so many people through the burpees sphere. Iron Wolf, Busy Dad, Joe Hotai, Fitness Throttle, Dave Whitten, just to name a few, James Bruce, Tone Irv. These guys you talk to, you communicate, you just get speaking to this community, and we get ideas, we bounce about, and it brings us together because we all know what the darkness feels like, and we all help each other get through it. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Thoughts are out there. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Put a comment in, let me know what you think. And that's it, guys. See you later.